Well, hello and welcome to Sports by Compion Pick'em Edition. That's right. We are back with more picks for you as we roll into NFL Week 8. And for that, I bring on the ever trusting Patriots fan, the man who has the heartbeat of what is going on there in the Meadowlands. Not the Meadowlands. Oops.
No,
Not at all. But
fuck the
they are
Meadowlands.
absolutely running the AFC East again. Cooper O'Connell, big Patriots guy, big Drake May guy. You're here on the show. We're happy to have you back, man.
It's glad to be back. Compy Nation, let me tell you, it's a great time for us too. You're looking at right now. Um, it was a rough game for Tampa Bay on Monday, but once they get healthy again, they're going to be an absolute house this year in the NFC. I
Yeah,
think
we'll
it's kind
figure
of
it
wide
out.
open. I don't think Philly's as good as they were last year. I think Detroit, the Packers, Tampa Bay, even Seattle, the Rams. There's a lot of good teams out there in the NFC. We'll see
Yeah.
who separates themselves come November and December. But I love the Buccaneers this year. I liked them a lot preseason. Had to give you your flowers first before I start talking about my goat,
Yeah, of course. Let's hear it.
my
Let's hear
god,
about what's
Drake
going
May.
on over there. Oh,
He's
is he
making
the new
all the
legend?
throws. Sorry, what'd you say?
Is he the most accurate quarterback in the whole NFL in deep throws? Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, based on my expert analysis, aka the eye test, I think he definitely is.
I think the stats
And
back it up, actually.
there's a lot of stats that back it up. I mean, his completion percentage was 91 against
Pretty crazy.
Tennessee last week. He's had a pretty good season overall in terms of completion, but yeah, his deep ball accuracy has been fucking insane. And even some of the ones that there's been some that he's gotten called back due to penalties, like that Saints game 2 weeks ago. They were getting killed by the referees. He had two of the best deep balls I've seen, you know, from a quarterback his age, besides like Mahomes, and both of them got called back for kind of ticky tack penalties. But he's absolutely dealing this year. McDaniels, Josh McDaniels made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler. I knew he would be great for helping Drake May step up and really take command of this football team. But man, I knew Drake May was good, but I could not have conceived of where we're at right now on October 22nd, 2025, with where Drake's at.
Uh,
I think he's playing like the best quarterback in the NFL, personally. I know you might disagree with that because of your boy, but
sure.
watching what he does with this offense, with we don't have the worst receiving group in O line in the league like we did last year, but they're not amazing. Drake's just completely carrying this football team right now.
It's pretty crazy. It looked like it was maybe going to be close there for a second with the Titans, and then the Titans started to tighten. But huge win again for the Patriots. They're doing a lot more than anyone thought we did. I think they're in a much better spot than when you came on the show in the preseason and maybe picked who they were going to win against. So got to be happy as a Patriots fan. As you mentioned, Bucks Nation not doing as great after Monday Night Football. A little bizarre. Can't really quite put it on there. We're not going to do a whole recap, mostly because it's painful for my soul. And I'd rather just forget the whole thing happened, which is what I think the Bucks are going to do: is just flush all that tape down the toilet, pretend like we could do a lot better because I believe we all can. This coming week, we got some guys who are going to have to prove themselves. Hassan Reddick is down, so Chris Braswell is going to have to finally step up and get a pass rush going. Logan Hall, who missed piles and piles of tackles on Monday Night Football, Cooper really needs to figure out his life, or he's going to get replaced by Elijah Roberts. Baker Mayfield's got to be better. I don't know what happened with Bake. He was definitely not on his game Monday night. Kept on overthrowing his receivers. I think it's tough that he just hasn't had Mike Evans or Chris Godwin pretty much this whole season. It's pretty crazy, and now we devastatingly lose Mike Evans again. Looks like the streak is finally over, Coop, which is just so sad for me.
He had a good run. I was also going to say maybe like some steroids or some PCP or some adrenochrome for Bucky Irving. Could really use him having two
Yeah,
legs again or two shoulders or whatever's going on with him right now. I know it was
shoulder
both
and
of
foot
those
out
areas.
again this week.
Yeah,
I think
killing
they're
me
just
in
going to rest
fantasy. I
him.
love Bucky Irving and
Oh,
drafted him in
man.
all my leagues. Yeah,
He did so well too. To start off, he was carrying my team as well, and then he just couldn't handle the weight. I think Rashad White, if you didn't pick him up, you should have because he's been all right as a replacement in fantasy.
Yeah, I kind of missed that one in the draft, unfortunately. So I'm
Other
dealing with
people
the
snatched him.
fallout there.
Damn.
If only my fourth round pick Trevion Henderson was remotely startable, it wouldn't be that bad. But I don't know what's going on there.
Dude, that whole situation. We talked during the week, and I did end up benching Stevenson. I still managed to win, but he ends up going off and kind of having his best week carrying the ball.
No, I'm
It's
talking about
I hate that.
Trevion, our
No, I
rookie.
know. That's what I'm saying. We're
Yeah,
both
yeah.
just that Patriots backfield is impossible to predict, and I hate it, Coop.
Dude, I mean, I'm about to go on a tangent if you don't stop me here, but
Hit
my
us.
line of thinking was kind of more related. Like when I drafted him, he had a good preseason, right? My line of thinking was more along the lines of, well, Stevenson's not that good and he's going to fumble a lot. So we're going to have to give Travion the ball at some point. And then that exact thing happened and he still couldn't get any fantasy points. Now, we're not really getting him as involved in the passing game as I expected us to. I don't think McDaniels trusts him back there yet. He was touted of coming out of the draft as this high profile blocker. People were calling him the best blocking running back like in college football, you know, that
High
year
praise.
and in many, many years. That was his big selling point. And he's been inconsistent in pass protection this year. A lot of holding penalties, a couple missed assignments. So, what was supposed to possibly be like a three down back for us by December, which I know that was kind of a stretch, but people were saying that. Now he's a zero down back for us until further notice. And
Yeah, that's
he's
disappointing as a Patriots fan,
stuck
I'm
in my
sure.
starting lineup until Bucky gets healthy. So I'm
Yeesh.
hoping things clean up. And I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's just young and maybe expectations were put on him a little too quickly. But
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get more involved, especially with Antonio Gibson tearing his ACL.
Man, what is going on with the injuries this year? I'm sure it's been talked about plenty, but I saw a post, they call it now on X, of someone being like, dude, they make all these new rules and everything, and it's all supposed to be for player safety, right? We've seen more injuries now than ever before of like key stars all going down. Are we really protecting these players or what the heck is going on out there, Coop? I think they need to get rid of turf for sure. Like, I don't think that's what broke Mike's collarbone. Like, he just came down wrong on it. Although
Yeah.
maybe grass would have gave a little bit more and it maybe would have somewhat helped. Who knows? But we've seen enough out of turf. I feel like at this point that like we're a multi-million billion-dollar industry. Like, can we maybe get rid of the turf fields?
Yeah,
How
the
hard could it
owners
be
are going
to
to keep out on that, unfortunately. I mean, I agree with you completely. I think, maybe some fields, like, I don't know how we're going to go about the biomes in certain areas that I don't know if grass does well there. But,
That's true.
for somewhere like, I think Chicago's about to do a turf field, right? Isn't that their new
Yeah, for sure.
stadium?
I'm sure
Yeah.
they're definitely gonna go turf. Everyone wants to go turf because it looks cool, but it's not fun to play on.
That's a knife through the soul of football in general. Chicago
Seriously,
playing on a turf field with a roof. Disgraceful.
sad.
Yeah, I
Seriously,
think
they need home field advantage.
yeah, I don't know, man. But I agree with the turf thing for sure. And then also, your field reporter, the handman, did some outreach because he had a similar question a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to some 49ers fans. I was like, what the fuck's going on with this team? It can't be the staff, right? It can't be the training staff. How do the Niners always have so many injuries? And the main common denominator I got, oh, what's up, Kitty?
And my boy's here, and Tiger wanted to hop in and hear about these injuries.
Yeah, Noelle's on an adventure right now. I don't know where she is, but they said that Shanahan's practice schedule is the main thing to blame. That's the common denominator I've been hearing. Is that's the culpability is Shanahan kills them in practice during the week and doesn't give them enough rest, and then they all get injured. Now, does that explain
Uh,
why Dre Greenlaw's knee blew up during the Super Bowl? Probably not. But at the end of the day, injuries are going to happen. But that's an interesting thing to think about because there are certain teams that seemingly are always more injured than others. I think the Ravens are probably in that conversation too.
yeah,
Um, the Lions lost their entire defense last year.
yeah. No, I hear you. I think it might be maybe something with the practice schedule. But either way, Coop, we got to hop in here and see if we can start figuring out some of these picks for week 8. All right. Your boy fell down to third place. Shout out Brett Humphreys from Yelling from the Couch. Make sure you guys are going over there and liking and subscribing because he just passed me by one game. So we got to try to track him down. Dan the man has put a commanding lead in front of me as well, about 3-4 games. So we really need to figure some things out so that Mr. Shea doesn't just run away with this coop. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, we can't let Dan the man win. That would
We
be
can't. Not
unacceptable.
again, dude. He wins it like all the time. I'm over it. Sometimes we need to have a new winner. So for that, to start it all off, we got a nice easy one, right? This is super easy. Vikings Chargers. So I went on a
Is it?
limb and was like, the Vikings got this. They got it. And then they didn't. It did get closer than it was going to originally look to be. It looked like the Eagles were going to run away with it. Carson Wentz kind of gets back into it. Maybe that was a tutty. I think it was. What the hell is a catch anymore?
The Hawkinson one? I thought that was going to be a
Yeah,
touchdown too.
I
I
thought that
think
was a
I think Gene's
touchdown.
territory came on and said the same thing. Not that he's
Uh,
the
you
gospel,
know,
but I mean,
I thought it was a
uh,
tutty. You get that
all signs
one,
pointed to 6 points there.
the game would have been different, maybe, if they get that touchdown, but it didn't happen. They end up losing to the Eagles. Now they face the Chargers in LA, I want to say. The thing I hate about this is primetime Herbert. I don't know how he's going to be with this. And the Vikings are a really hard team to pick for or against. As you see, they're 3-3, Cooper. So we don't really know what to make of them. I don't like Carson Wentz, but I do like the Vikings defense.
What's going on with Mekhi Becton? I saw he got hurt on Sunday. I think the Chargers O line's a disaster right now. They're not really a
Absolute
safe pick at
disaster.
all until their O line gets shaped up. I mean,
Yeah.
Slater's not coming back till next year, so that's already a big red X for them. I know Joe Alt's been banged up. I mean, honestly, I think the Vikings will eat them alive if they have a bunch of backups playing on the O line. The defense is good enough to cause a lot of problems up front, and obviously Wentz is a pretty big wild card, but I don't know. I mean, I think I would slightly take the Vikings here on a short week.
I'm tempted to do it because they really almost had the Eagles, and the Chargers have just been so inconsistent. They end up dropping that. Didn't they end up losing this weekend, or did they come back and won? And
No, they lost to the Colts by like 2
that's
touchdowns.
right. Yeah, they kind of got dominated by the Colts. I don't know if I like him when I'm seeing out of the Chargers. Like you said, their offensive line is a mess. I will take the Vikings on a short week with you too. I need to shake it up. Pick something a little harder. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we
Yeah,
got Falcons, we got Dolphins. Although the Falcons have been a tough team to pick this year, I think they do have it against a very depleted Miami Dolphins team. I don't know what these guys are up on about. What the hell is happening over there? Tua's throwing people under the bus, and he's getting thrown under the bus. Uh, Irving is getting in there, and Mike McDaniels already hates him. I don't know what's going on with this Miami team, but I think the Falcons got him.
yeah. The thing with the Dolphins too is you got to wonder. I mean, today is Wednesday. Who's still going to be on the team by Sunday? There's a lot of trade buzz around them. They're probably going to sell out. I mean, Pencilneck's career is done in Miami after this year, unless they make the greatest comeback in a season ever. I think Tua's probably done too. And with a team like this, the big question for a big losing team is, will they play for their coach? Because that's a big indicator of how bad teams play down the stretch. And I don't really think they're going to play for their coach at this point.
It doesn't seem
Um,
like he has the type of
just
gritty
based on what I'm
guys in
seeing in the
there.
media.
Yeah, I would agree with that. How much of Tua's contract do we think is guaranteed?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Apparently only 3 mil. Next third day of 26, 3 mil for this year. Out of the 31 million, 20 was guaranteed for the injury at signing. Hard to say. He's probably still has some good money left on that contract, so they might try to get a trade partner. Maybe the Jets will take him because they are a hot mess too, Cooper. And
Yeah, I mean,
yelling, go ahead.
I don't think Tua's really worth trading for. I mean, he's not a bad
No.
quarterback, but I can't rely on him to stay on the field. Each
Hey, if you get,
concussion is worse than the last.
so you're not the one to ask because you have Drake May on the roster, but if you're a team like the Jets and you're a Jets fan, would you be like, hey, I'll give you guys a fifth round, a fourth rounder for him?
Probably not. I mean, the thing with the Jets too is that Steven, I'm getting older, getting wiser,
Yeah,
seen a lot of things in football in my lifetime,
sure. Have you ever
and
seen the Jets be good?
for 2 years, like 15 years ago, they were good,
Yeah,
but
they're decent.
Uh, point I'm getting at is that the quarterback at this point, like you can't save the Jets with the quarterback. The front office, the management is the problem. There's no way a quarterback will succeed on that team the way it's currently set up. Whether it's Tua or whether they draft, the guy from Indiana or whoever next year. I think the Jets are just poisoned from the top down.
So it's
And
all Woody Allen's fault, you think?
yes,
Huh.
I think it started with firing Robert Saleh in like week 5 last year. I think that was
Yeah,
a
that was
stupid
wild.
choice.
That was crazy.
When you do things like that, you can't get out of your own way. Like someone like Tua who needs a good system around him to succeed, and that's the case for most quarterbacks in the NFL,
Of
aside from like
course.
a handful of guys. Most quarterbacks are a product of their environment, and the Jets' environment is,
It's
and
bad.
I don't see any way that's changing going into next season.
Nope.
Flacco's
I,
cooking though. I'll take the Bengals.
didn't Flacco play for the Jets at some point? I could see it.
Yeah, he did like 4 or
Yeah.
5 years ago. At this point, I feel like.
Yeah. I could absolutely have seen it. Yeah. Shout out Brett Humphreys once more from yelling from the couch. His team is, suddenly looking like the decent team again. They just upset the Steelers, fucked up my pick to start off the week. It was tough going. But anyway, Coop, we got your boys. They are hosting the Browns, who are frisky but boring, as Barstool Sports has put them in the power ranking. They basically have a defense, and their offense will do some stuff. Dylan Gabriel doesn't look like the worst quarterback in the world. I feel like it's so unfair for Dylan Gabriel. There's just so many people waiting on this kid's demise. They're like, please suck so we can get Shador Sanders in there. It's kind of crazy I mean, it's a Browns quarterback, so I think everyone just kind of already is like,
Look at what they
Browns.
want. He's a Browns quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they're already throwing him under the bus because of that. And then toppled with the whole just put Shador on the field. It's pretty crazy for this boy Dylan, but he got them a win last week. Don't see it happening against Drake May, the boy, this week, though.
Yeah, I mean, respect all, fear none. The Browns could definitely sneak up on you if you're not careful. They have a great defense. We can't run the ball for shit, so that basically means we're giving Miles Garrett a lot of chances to get to Drake May on Sunday. Um, Now we do have Will Campbell at left tackle. Will Campbell is having a great season quietly. He's not getting a lot of recognition right now, which I find strange. He's been super, super solid in protection for our boy Drake. And the O line hasn't been great in run blocking, but they have been good in pass protection. Drake May's definitely making them look better too, with his mobility. I'm taking the Patriots in probably a low scoring, ugly game. And also just want to shout out Quinshon Judkins. Got him super late in fantasy. Great pick, great running back.
Yeah.
Clearly the better of the two right now out of the Ohio State running backs. This will be the battle of him versus Henderson, former teammates. But he was definitely a little more pro ready than Henderson too. So not
I do
writing off
remember.
Davion right now.
I do remember both of being those Ohio State quarterbacks, the running backs, getting talked about a lot. Cooper, before we move on here, we got to recognize our non-sponsor sponsor of the day, which is Choice Chews. These are some fantastic gummies that will get you feeling pretty good about your life in general. Did your Buccaneers lose on Monday Night Football and your Rockford Ravens lose on Saturday? Yeah. But you can have a couple of these bad boys and it all won't seem so bad. And that's why Choice Chews is a happy non-sponsor sponsor of Sports by Compion. Shout out, boys. Anyway, yeah, I think we both agree this is going to be a win for the Patriots. Maybe the toughest defense that Drake May will have faced so far, especially with Miles Garrett coming after him, but he should be okay. Booty, just throw the booty out there until we'll go catch it, right? All right, we got Eagles, we got Giants. I've got to, it's like you want to pick Eagles here, like yeah, obviously Eagles, but dude, the Giants is crazy. They're frisky and they should have beat Denver last week, which nobody saw coming. I don't. That was going to be a huge upset. Jackson Dart's a baller. This is kind of a tough one.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much changed in the last 2 weeks since they last played. I'm sure Philly will adjust, but I mean, just living around here, a lot of people aren't happy with the OC right now, including AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I don't know what to think about the Giants coming off that Denver game. They looked so good for 3 quarters and 10 minutes or so, and then they completely threw it away. Um, I would take the Eagles here. I think that's the safe
I gotta
bet.
take the
I mean,
Eagles
they're the
here. It's a
better
safe one.
team.
Yeah,
Um,
and the
but
Giants
I could
won the first
definitely
one,
see them
right?
losing this game too.
Yeah, and with the Giants having won the first one, you got to think the Eagles at home are gonna be like, all right, we're not gonna get caught off guard by crazy ass Cam Scatterboo. If you see him, double tackle him low. They might be okay. But I love this young Giants team. They're fun. A dual Carter over there just talking piles of shit. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Buffalo Bills, Carolina Panthers. Once again, it seems like an easy one to pick, right? But dude, they both basically have the same schedule. I mean, record as the Bills are coming off a bye. Panthers are positive for the first time in a while as they host the Bills coming off. But dude, the whole coming off the bye thing, like, it's hard to
I'm
be a
thinking like
team.
35-10 Bills here. I don't think this is
Yeah.
worth overthinking.
No, you don't think so?
Carolina's got 4 wins, but they're not nearly as good as Buffalo, in
I
my
don't think Bryce
opinion.
Young's playing either. I think Bryce Young's still injured.
Yeah, the Red Rockets playing.
Red Rocket, yeah, I don't trust Red Rocket against this Bills team, which I think they're done dropping big games to the NFC South. They'll be a little more ready this time. All right, we got Bears, we got Ravens, dude. What is going on with the Ravens this year? Everyone keeps on being like they gotta figure it out, but do they? Is Lamar Jackson back? We should know these things.
Yeah, he should be back. He's supposed to be back. Assuming he's back, I'll take the Ravens in this one. I mean, even with Lamar Jackson, they had pretty shaky start to this season. But I mean, I think like that Rams game was that last week or was that 2 weeks ago? They played the Rams and they lost like by a couple of touchdowns. I mean, Cooper Rush didn't move the ball at all, but that was a game that I think a semi good offense wins. You know, like not even a great offense. I think some of the pieces are coming together for the Ravens and other places right now, and Lamar Jackson's going to elevate them. The Bears have been hot, but I'm not really convinced by them yet. I
Yeah,
think they're ready for a letdown game here. I think they've won on some pretty interesting. I'm not going to say lucky, but some things that maybe wouldn't go their way every single time.
yeah,
Washington had a super untimely fumble against them like a week or two ago, and then they had that field goal block against the Raiders. Chicago Bears, they're an okay football team, but I think the Ravens are getting their swagger back this week.
with especially with Lamar. So Lamar is returned to practice today. Whether that means he's going to be able to actually make it to the game is still up for debate. But assuming that he is back, he knows he needs to get his team back on track here. I don't see him dropping this game as well. I'm with you. They probably would have beat the Rams if you had Lamar for that game. So I think Ravens get back on track this week. All right, we got 49ers. We got Houston Texans. 49ers are coming into town against a Houston team that can't seem to win against the good teams. I don't know if that's going to change against a 49ers squad that really surprised me. I mentioned that they were extra banged up again after the Bucks game, and I was like, "There's just no way without Fred Warner. I don't see them pulling this off." But hey, he was there to support them in the booth, and apparently that was enough to get the boys rowdy. His backup is pretty decent, apparently.
Yeah, he had a
So
pretty good game last
yeah,
week.
yeah. So I'm gonna go 49ers on this one, just because I haven't seen anything from CJ Stroud this year that really tells me he's a dangerous quarterback. They do have some great pass rushers with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, but it doesn't matter if you're not scoring points.
Yeah, I think Purdy will be back probably. And yeah, I think the Texans O line's a disgrace right now.
Yeah,
I was watching the Texans Seahawks game on Monday, and they were starting a guy who couldn't really get playing time in the Patriots O line last year, and our O line sucked last year. I didn't like the Texans coming into the season for that reason. Definitely a little banged up right now too. Great defense though. I would say probably a low scoring 49ers win here.
yeah, yeah. Definitely going 49ers here on the road. We got the Bucks, who are also on the road as they travel to New Orleans to take on the hated rival Saints. Can't stress enough how much I dislike the New Orleans Saints organization. Definitely riding with the boys here. Baker due for a big bounce back game. This whole Bucks team in general, their defense was trying to hold on for dear life. So I could see us having a decent day against Spencer Rattler and somewhat of a depleted Saints team. They brought it back late in that Bears game, but they kind of put themselves in too big of a hole. They are going to be frisky. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I'm taking the Bucks here.
I don't know. I kind of smell a trap game here.
Oh, it's absolutely. This is
If I'm
definitely a
being
trap
honest. I
game
think the Saints are a little better than everyone thinks they are.
for sure.
Home division game. Bucks are banged up. I like New Orleans here.
Wow.
As an underdog, I would say trap game. Saints win.
I absolutely see the trap in this game, but I do think Baker, after coming off that loss on Monday night, is going to be really fired up. So
Yep.
he does have a Mecca, who hopefully he can stay healthy. And Tez Johnson's starting to look like a pretty decent little option there as a 7th-round pick. So we lucked out well. Other than that, he's throwing to a bunch of undrafted guys. So hopefully we can figure this out. Big Chris Braswell prove it game. Do we have anything in the 2nd-round guy, or do we need to trade for somebody with us on right to out? All right, Broncos, Cowboys. Ooh, this is a toughie because Broncos probably should have lost. Are we totally convinced by what we're seeing from Bo Nix? He scores all his points in the 4th quarter, apparently. Um, the defense gave up a lot of points to there. That was like definitely the most points they gave up all season was to the Giants. Dak Prescott's looking amazing. He's been playing at an MVP level. No one's really talking about it because his team is 3-3-1. But he's playing out his mind. And that defense had a nice little pick 6 last week. Can they pull off a win here against Denver in the Mile High Stadium? That is the problem, though. It is in Denver.
Yeah. I like. It's tough because I see two teams that are due for a letdown game right now.
Yeah,
Dallas has CD Lamb back. I mean, I want to say that they can score on this offense, and if it turns out into a Knicks versus Dak shootout, I'd probably say slight Dak. But uh, I think the Denver Broncos are just a safer pick in general for a game like this. The Cowboys are way too erratic for my liking. Dak Prescott is playing some great football right now. As a Jake Ferguson / CD Lamb fantasy owner, I'm very thankful for him and his contributions to my happiness on Sundays.
amen.
But I just think Denver's defense is going to have more answers than Dallas's defense is going to have ultimately, and what I think will be a decently high scoring game.
Plus, they're at home.
But but it becomes a low scoring ball control game. The kicker Brandon Aubrey might be the difference. He might be hitting 70 yarders at Mile High
Dude,
Stadium. We
he
might
is
we might be
so
in
good.
uncharted territory for Brandon Aubrey here. Have we ever seen him go to Denver before? Ooh,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
take I'm
so.
gonna take Dallas here. I think Brandon Aubrey might be the difference, honestly.
He's so good.
I love
Shout
Brandon
out
Aubrey.
former Birmingham Stallion, Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, moving on to a AFC South rivalry game. The Titans are going against the Colts. Colts are the hottest, most surprising team in the NFL, and the Titans are pretty much what everyone expected out of the team that was picking first overall last year. They are one game ahead of the Jets. What do we think, Coop?
I think if I had to rank every team in the NFL 1 to 32, I would give the 32nd spot to both the Jets and the Titans. Two
Tie.
of the worst teams we've seen in a while. And the
Yeah,
Titans had a decent start against New England, but I attribute that to the fact that that was their interim coach's first game. We might not have had a lot of
true.
film on him and what he did, scripted first couple drives. And once it came down to, no more scripted drives. Now we're adapting. Now we're playing the game. The Patriots completely dominated. I don't see this being close. Even I like to pick division games to be close, but not this one.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I don't think it's Cam Ward's fault, but the Titans are not ready.
No, I think this is kind of like Trevor Lawrence's rookie season, where with Cam Ward, like you
We don't
really
really
can't
know
draw
what
a conclusion off of his
one way or the
numbers
other
or how he does. All you want to see is progress from him right now.
for sure. All right, so we got Steelers, we got the Packers. Packers Steelers absolutely let me down. Some people have the Packers as the number one team in the NFL. What do you think about it all, Coop?
I wouldn't say they're number one in the NFL. But I would definitely take them to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. I'll say that. Um,
Yeah,
I think the Steelers are a bad team disguised as a 4-2 team. I really don't like their defense at all. Their defense is really bad.
dude, what
Um,
happened last week? How are you? They were terrible against the Bengals. That defense was sad, and you got a lineman tackling Rodgers, which isn't great.
Yeah, I think Green Bay's pass rush is probably going to eat against the Steelers' O line. I think Rodgers is having a good year, but I don't see it holding up throughout the entire season. I'm
It's going
taking
to be
Green
tough
Bay
against this
here.
Packers defense too because they've been pretty good all year. And also the Steelers struggles to stop the run, and Brandon and Jackson Jacobs is having himself a good year as well. So we got Commanders, we got Chiefs. I don't see them being the guys to beat these Chiefs team that suddenly is heated up. Are they just going to go on a rampage and win the Super Bowl? Maybe, Coop, but I don't see the rampage being stopped today or by this Commanders team that I don't even know if they have Daniels now. Let's have
No,
a
there's
look.
going to be Mariota playing. So, I mean, I think the Chiefs are probably the best team in the AFC right now, despite only being 4-3. I think this is a pretty easy Chiefs pick.
Injury status. Let's see. He is no, it's the stats. Yeah, and even if they did have him, I don't think I don't think they would stand a chance even if they did have Jaden Daniels.
Rasheed
And
Rice is back.
oh man,
He had
Mahomes
a
and
very good game last week. I think Mahomes finally has, his whole spread offense ready to go again.
yeah, Jaden Daniels is
Mariota fell
absolutely out.
apart against Dallas. The Chiefs have a better defense than Dallas. It would be quite the surprise if Washington was competitive in this game.
Well, then the last question we have for you, Cooper, what do you think is going to be the final score of that Chiefs Commanders game? Total points,
27-10.
which would be 37.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're rolling with. Sports by Champion fans, we've made all 13 of our picks for this year, week 8. We've recapped some of the stuff that happened last week. We think we know what's going on, but I think this is the most any given Sunday season we've seen out of the NFL in a while, don't you think, Coop?
Yeah, big time. A lot of surprises so far.
Yeah.
Colts, Patriots, um, Jaguars, a lot of teams that they've proven a lot so far, but we'll really see who they are down the stretch here. And then Buffalo, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Chiefs all have some ground to make up still in the conference or in their divisions respectively. So it's going to be a great AFC playoff race. A lot of new faces, a lot of new exciting QBs. Some of them residing in New England. And like I
Love to
said
see it.
earlier, the NFC, I think the NFC's got more like great teams than the AFC does right now,
Well,
and
there's a
that's
whole
wide
plethora of
open.
5-2 teams. Isn't there like five and two teams in the NFC right now? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. I'm excited. I think. Why don't you make a Super Bowl prediction right now? We're at midseason, right? What
Yeah.
do you think?
Mid-season, who do I got for the Super Bowl? Probably gonna be the Chiefs. Let's be honest. Fate is just one of those things. There's something about Patrick Mahomes, dude. He's looking like he's figured it out again. He's getting his receivers back. That defense knows how to win. That's the safe pick. But I'm gonna say Buccaneers because fuck it.
Chiefs
Baker and the
Bucks.
boys. Chiefs or Bucks? Yeah, Chiefs Bucks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would say that the Patriots are going to have to make a big move before the trade deadline before I can put them
I
as the Super
the
Bowl
Bucks are in the same.
favorites.
The Bucks are in the same boat. We just
Yeah,
lost
and
this
we need
on
a pass
Reddit for.
rusher.
We just lost this on Reddit for a while. And that's gonna hurt. Mike Evans is down. We need to kind of side like on someone off the street. We need to do some things before we're ready for a run because I don't think Chris Braswell is the answer. Cooper, second round
No,
pick from a couple years ago, he's just not figured it out. Sometimes you just know with these pass rushers, if you can put it together like quickly, they're gonna do it one way or the other. Because I don't know if we've seen a lot of comeback stories of pass rushers, have we?
Robert Quinn. He had
He took a while to develop.
22 sacks or something like that. What was it? The Bears season he had. I feel like he disappeared for like 4 years, and then he had an amazing
True.
season as an older man on
That's
the
true.
on the Bears.
What can
It's not
happen
common though.
sometimes.
I just had that off the dome.
That
Um,
was pretty good. That
yeah,
was a pretty good example right off the dome.
good
Well,
pull,
anyway,
right?
Sports by Coffee
Yeah.
fans, we appreciate you tuning in. Cooper, we appreciate you coming back on talking about your newest love, Drake May. We wish you the best in your guys' relationship. Do you have any final words for the Sports by Coffee Nation?
Um, Phillies suck. Eagles suck. Sixers suck. Flyers suck. Yankees suck. Mets suck. Jets suck. Giants suck.
Hell yeah.
Rangers suck. Bills suck. Dolphins suck. Knicks suck. Nets suck. Fuck it. The Utah Jazz suck. Everyone's getting Everyone's getting a haymaker on this
Hell
one.
yeah, dude. Fucking throwing some
New York
bows, standing
Islanders
out the
suck.
box. Hell
Buffalo
yeah.
Sabres suck.
Getting
Montreal
them.
Canadiens suck. Toronto Maple Leafs suck. Fuck all of you.
Fuck all those
Patriots are
guys.
back.
Hats are back, baby. The arrogance is back, and we love to see it. Sports by Compian. We're out of here.
Yep.